Universal language. If extraterrestrials landed on Earth tomorrow, it's always assumed we would need to use math or astronomy facts to talk to them, since those are the only things we can be sure they will also necessarily understand, like the number pi or the speed of light. However, it's at least equally likely that they will necessarily understand concepts of life versus death, matter versus structure, knowledge versus ignorance, vitality versus decay, or self versus other. What do all of these concepts have in common? They're all thermodynamical concepts at the most fundamental level. Thermodynamics, or more correctly, statistical mechanics, is a branch of physics which is independent of any measured physical constant, like speed of light or the mass of the electron. If an alien came not just from our own universe, but from a whole other universe, where there were, let's say, 3 fundamental forces instead of 4 fundamental forces, and a totally different set of elementary particles, they would still have the same statistical mechanics we do. They would still have a concept of entropy, a concept of energy, and they would still have a second law of thermodynamics, which means they would still need to have bodies in which entropy is kept low by ejecting high entropy to their environment, would still need to eat low entropy food in order to stay away from equilibrium, would still sustain damage to metabolism leading to the need for resetting the metabolic clock through regeneration and death, and so on. All of the core stuff of human traditions and spirituality. Statistical mechanics is therefore not just the most fundamental part of physics, since it doesn't depend on what the universe happens to be made of. But it also, or maybe therefore, lies at the core of both biology and theology. Therefore, biology and theology might be more fundamental and more elementary, in a sense, than the electron charge or the speed of light. So maybe, just maybe, when aliens land, or perhaps we land on someone else's planet, instead of take me to your leaders, the thing to say which they would relate to on a fundamental level might actually be a statistical mechanical statement like, the living logos tramples down death by death. Even simple bacteria can relate to this, since they have apoptosis, and their world is as different from ours as any alien world is likely to be.